Welcome to the next episode. We took a few weeks, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So we're reviewing this out. Reviewing, that's the word I want to say. I don't know, I kind of stuttered.
Bleeding.
The Bleeding by Cannibal Corpse, as suggested by
We have
Luke.
to be as calm as possible for this one.
As we should. Well, Luke's already calm sounding because he's dead.
Yeah. Fucking working 7 days a week.
So who wants to give some background for this album?
I have none, so.
Well,
Okay, go ahead. I guess you two would be the best.
this is the fourth Cannibal Corpse album.
What's up with us and doing the fourth album of each band?
I
Wait,
don't
we
know.
really did that, right?
We did Slayer, we did Ice Cube,
Yeah.
and there's maybe Avenged Sevenfold, but I don't know.
Well, this is what it's going to be. It's just going to be the fourth.
We're only
album
doing the
review.
fourth album of every band.
Cannibal Corpse is at its all-time high in regards of the fucking vulgar popularity. The album cover originally was supposed to be something more brutal and gory.
I heard it got censored.
A lot. It was bad. Like, they fucking literally, it was like a white canvas that they fucking just threw red and yellow and fucking whatever color they could throw at it, and that was the album cover. So it was like Load except with paint and fucking...
I was about to say, is it like the cover of Load where it's like cum and shit on
Yeah,
it? But you don't
it's
know?
like a fucking rusty wall with like blood and shit on it. But besides the point, the album was considered so fucking hardcore after their album Butchered at Birth. It was just like a new ball game in regards to the heavy fucking metal. This wasn't like satanic shit, but it had like that kind of harder imagery of like an infant being ripped out of a fucking
knife.
Well, dude, that's not getting fucked with a knife. That's the song.
No.
But like the
imagery was so much harder and harsher to look at. The entire album is this fucking guttural, uneasy, harsh, lyrical
Yes.
fucking thing. And death metal kids loved it, dude. They literally were like, "Oh my god, I love fuck with a knife!" Ah! Dude, they fucking like they'd actually have knives and shit brought to the show for fucking Chris Barnes to sign.
you
With
could
a
not
shirt.
do that these days.
Fuck no. And like one kid, there's a story from what I was told from YouTube, which I don't know how fucking real this is because
Okay, we'll slap an asterisk on this, but go ahead.
Quote unquote, the Pickaxe Murders. There was a fan of the song, and he brought a fucking pickaxe and threw it on the stage.
What the fuck?
And Chris Barnes was like, "Anybody got a Barker?" and signed the pickaxe.
That's awesome.
And then fucking they dropped it in the pit and said, "You can come get it.
As they should.
You can come get it."
So before
I'm not throwing it.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you throw that and not hit anyone? Just
You gotta know what you're doing.
Or fucking throw it sideways and somebody's fucking jaw gets locked off. Another quick tidbit. This is the point in time where Chris Barnes was losing talent in the band. Like, he was losing his notoriety. Eventually, down the line, he would be removed from the band and be replaced with George
Grinder.
Fisher, the Corpse Grinder.
wait, that's his actual name?
George Fisher is his real name. That's why everybody was yelling George when we saw him at the concert.
I didn't hear that. I was also drunk.
But this was the pinnacle though. Like, everybody loved this lineup. This was like what was considered definitive.
Kind of like how the Pantera lineup was with Vulgar Display Power.
This is also
It's considered the lineup.
this is also the album after they were featured in Ace Ventura.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
They were featured.
Wait,
The original lineup of Cannibal Corpse from this era was in Ace Ventura, the first Ace Ventura movie. That death metal band that was playing in the fucking underground.
Oh,
That's Cannibal
That was
Corpse.
Cannibal Corpse?
That's
funny.
real. That's fucking.
I haven't
Cannibal
seen Ace
Corpse.
Ventura, so I don't know.
It's all connected.
Yeah,
That's
man.
the one where Dan Marino's the worst man on earth.
Literally.
But let's not get too off topic. I guess we'll start with talking about the songs, because I got stuff to say for when we do the recap.
Yeah.
But what's the first track?
So the first
The
track
recap.
is "Staring Through the Eyes of the Dead." It's a pretty fucking heavy track. Well, a lot of these
Starts
tracks
off
are
very
fucking heavy as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very heavy album. Probably the heaviest we've done
This
so
is
far.
definitely the heaviest we've done so far.
Yes.
This is the most fucking brutal.
This is the most heaviest one we've done.
Yeah. I think the song's not bad. I dig it.
I don't mind this one.
That's good.
Fucked with a Knife is the second one, and by God, it is one of the most popular songs off this album.
Yes.
Swear to God. Literally,
I can
And-
see the appeal, but
Despite the name, I do not mind the song. I think it's okay. When it comes to lyrical content on this album, it goes pretty fucking bad.
it's
Yeah.
But like,
very-
if you
it's
just
very
if you
fucked
can
up.
get over that, it's really not awful. Like
If you're into-
instrumentally, I think this album's great.
If you're into the brutal heavy music and like the darker content, this is what's.
I can't be like, this is reprehensible. I can't say that because
No.
I love dark fantasy and stuff. So like I get these themes all the time, and like I read Berserk. Like you think that anything?
read Berserk.
You think Berserk has anything worse than on this fucking album?
It's on the same kind of level.
It's on the same kind of level, basically.
So the brutality is not what really like is not offensive.
Well, yes,
or
it is.
tone or whatever.
I
What am
will
trying to
say,
here?
in the story Berserk, it's seen as a bad thing.
It's meaningful.
It's a meaningful as like it's never seen in a good light. This is a little different. I'm not
Because-
saying that they're saying it's good. It's just it's more. It's just I don't know how to explain it. They're not telling a story with it. I mean, they are.
But it's not like an
It's like-
overarching story.
It's not an overarching story. It's a
That's not a
3-minute
concept
story.
album. Yeah.
It's a 3-minute story.
The next one, stripped, raped, and strangled.
This is my
I
hands
like this
down
one.
favorite.
Yeah,
I
I like
love
This is I think this is the popular track
This
off the
is-
album.
This is
Fuck
the
no,
one.
fuck with a knife was the most popular.
Oh,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah.
I read the lyrics while listening to this one. It just made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, this one I do. This one I kind of like.
Well, if you want to really hear a Cannibal Corpse song, read the lyrics of I Come Blood. That really makes you
well,
uncomfortable.
That's a different topic for a different.
Different fucking album.
different album.
So, consensus, strip, rape, and torture.
Oh, I like it. It's not my favorite, but
That's my
Alright.
favorite one here.
it's all right.
Alright, the next one is Pulverized.
Okay, this one is my favorite.
I
off the
fucking
album.
love this song.
This one is awesome.
Yeah.
It is a very chunky, brutal track.
I listened to this song. Last night I was playing it. I was listening it the
actually,
first
I
time last
did
night while I was
really like
playing
this one
Dark
too.
Souls.
Oh,
So-
well, that fits.
It all fits.
Oh, going to the Capra Demon Room, Pulverize was playing. I beat him on my first try. I felt like a fucking badass.
Nice.
There you go.
Clapped his ass the fuck
But yeah, that's probably my favorite track is Pulverized.
Return to Flesh is another fucking song.
I like that one.
I like this
Very
one too.
hard, it was very. A lot of it has the chuggy, like the real chuggy.
These riffs are catchy, the lyrics, some of them, as fucking brutal as they are, they'll get stuck in your head.
Oh yeah, I've definitely had this album stuck in my head because I listened to it one last time today before we did the episode, and like I definitely had some of the riffs stuck in my head.
The Pickaxe Murder has a great chorus.
That's another
fucking
one that
catchy
I
as
do
shit.
like. They have a really good stretch of songs starting from like stripped, raped, and what's it called?
Stripped,
Strangled?
Raped, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I think from there for like the next few tracks from that, I think is like the best stretch of the album.
Yeah, I honestly, everything after Pulverize was pretty good, honestly. Like, I mean, I'm not saying the first half of the album, like the first 3 songs were bad.
Yeah.
I'm saying I prefer everything after that pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Pickaxe murder.
She was asking
This
for it. It's
this-
a fucking
this
great
one-
I don't
song.
like that
I
one.
don't like that one.
That's the one I
either.
don't.
It's
I
so
don't really like
fucked
that
up,
one.
but it's like to me, because I can get the idea of them just fucking around and writing some fucked up shit.
Random some fucked up shit.
Because
A
if
lot
I
of
was
this album
them,
is shock value.
Wait, we
Yeah.
if I
and
was
that's
them,
right.
I'd be
But
like,
that's
No,
the
we
point
didn't.
of it.
We talked about
We
it.
did?
But that's
Yeah.
the point of the album. Is shock value.
Yeah, it's going for that
It's-
shock value.
this is a time where the metal music scene was going through a drastic fucking change and going like you said 94.
Yeah, so this is
Yeah,
like black
94.
metal was out. Like they were trying to compete with all the dark shit that was coming out of like Norway
mean,
and stuff like that.
So
In '94,
Thrash-
I wouldn't be surprised that this was pretty fucking horrible back in '94.
Oh no, dude, this was like mortifying.
People fucking hated this shit.
Yo,
back in
parents would
94.
fucking burn these
Yeah.
albums, like them hardcore Christian motherfuckers. You
Yeah.
thought the '80s was bad with them people?
Yeah,
dude,
no,
they
but
Like
this-
Slayer and all that. Hell no.
yeah,
This was even worse.
yeah, dude, your fucking parents would have beat you simple if you had this fucking record. And your priest would have been like, "The child is a Satanist. He believes in the murderous intent of Satan."
I'll put this next to my Christian rock album. Anyways, let's go to the next.
You
song.
have to. You have to do
Go
that.
bleeding.
You need to put it in between 2 Christian albums so that you can
The
contain
title
it.
of the
Oh
album.
yes, that's right. That's
The,
right.
the title track of the album is
The
next.
bleeding is
Yeah.
that's
The
probably the
Bleeding.
last song that I really like from the album is the title track.
Yeah, I didn't
It
mind
is pretty fucking hardcore.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fucking like good chunky stop go kind of aspects of the song.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It's not too
I
bad.
really like it.
Yeah.
Force Fed Broken Glass is the most
That one
fucked up
was-
song ever.
That one was
I like
fucked
that
up,
song,
but it
though.
was really
It
good.
It's okay,
It's alright.
but it gets really goofy at some parts.
The gargling
yeah,
at the end.
that's when I kind of like.
Well,
I'm
that
like,
was
what
one thing
the
about this
fuck?
album is the vocals. there's two. Who are the two vocalists, or is it just one person doing
It's
both
just
voices?
one guy.
So it's one person
fucking
doing
Chris
both voices?
Barnes, yeah.
So the really high pitched one, every time he came up, I was fucking giggling at it because I thought he was goofy.
He sucks. Chris Barnes.
It sucks.
He
dude.
sucks. So his death metal vocal style originally was supposed to be like a mix of Rob Halford and Dio, but just with like fucking. But like the little like those parts. Yeah, those parts he can't sing that high because he
It just
fucked
sounds
his vocals.
weird.
He fucked his vocals because of literally
It
guttural
reminds me
singing.
of I listened to the first Buckethead album.
Yeah.
There's a song off the first Buckethead album that's really goofy because it's got it turns into like that all of a sudden for no reason, like somebody comes in and starts yelling. But it's, the lady comes like, "I'm Centipede Woman!" Ah! It's so funny.
What the fuck?
I gotta listen to that one.
I gotta look it up. I gotta look it up.
I've never
for you.
heard
It's
that
really
one.
funny.
It's above
Brian
the
and,
on my
and
list.
Homicide.
Oh yeah,
Eh.
the closing track, not counting the
Well-
bonus track, which we'll get to, but the closing track, I like it, I guess.
Yeah, what was
It's
that?
Still,
it's
still
okay.
closed the album out pretty good. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
like very let down or wasn't let down at all. It's like still
It wasn't a letdown. It's
It
just
wasn't
again
as,
one of
like,
my
kinda-
lesser favorite tracks.
heavier
The bonus track.
hitting.
Now, before we talk about the bonus track, I'd like to say that we forgot to mention one thing in the last video when we talked about Slayer. Dissident Aggressor is actually a cover of a Judas Priest song.
It is.
Yes.
Mm,
So,
Oh.
in that same fashion, The Exorcist is actually a cover of a Possessed song.
Oh,
So,
fuck yeah.
off of their famous album, Seven Churches. So, highly recommend that for all the protege death metal fans out there. Like, you like the mid-80s style, before
Like,
Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah.
That was when it was like a hybrid of thrash and the ideas of
With
death metal.
like
Yeah.
obituary and stuff like all that.
Yeah, it's like that era. However, in saying this, this is my least favorite track on the album.
It's kind of boring.
It's
Yeah.
the worst one to me.
Yeah, I don't really mind it.
The
I thought it was
original
okay.
song
It's
is
lighter
way
than the rest
better.
of the songs in the album.
The original Exorcist.
The
Which I
ori-
still have to listen to because I have the cover on my phone.
I highly recommend the original over this one. It sounds a lot more lo-fi though, because it came out of that earlier era. But
It's not as heavy.
what is everyone's overall thoughts on The Bleeding?
Best gateway death metal album by far. If you want to get into the heavy grinding shit.
I'd say it's a good gateway album.
This or any really pretty much any Cannibal Corpse. They're pretty good for gateway. And the heavy.
This is
heavy,
Gateway?
No.
This is
It's the
gateway.
gateway.
I don't want to go through these gates anymore. I'm scared.
Mom, come pick me up.
You want pickaxes and broken glass to eat?
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go
And
first?
fucking
You guys
with
go
knives.
first.
Oh, they already went.
I didn't
So,
go.
I'm happy.
go ahead. What's your
Oh, wait,
final
wait.
thoughts?
Oh,
Not the
you did,
rating, but
right?
what
Oh.
are your final thoughts on the
Oh yeah,
album?
then I did go.
Okay, yeah. So, when I first listened to this album, my very first listen through, it kind of sat the same way with me that the self-titled Slipknot album sat with me when I first listened to it. As in, I was not a fan. But,
Just eat.
wait till we're done. We'll talk about food later. But, when I first listened to this album, I didn't dig it at all. But, this is how I felt
But-
the first Slipknot album. When I re-listened to it, which I re-listened to this album like 6 or 7 times.
Jesus fuck!
Well, that's what I do for these shows. I listen to the album a bunch of times.
You get
Just
in your fucking
I listened
head.
to it once before we start the episode.
It's kind of what I did. I was gonna listen to it twice and forgot.
that's okay. As long as I just want to make sure I know what I'm saying when
This
I talk
album is
about an
mentally
album.
on repeat in my head.
Yeah.
Fucked it is.
Yeah, well, that's beside the point.
Yeah.
But
Well, I added a whole bunch of the songs to my playlist, so it's pretty much
I'd say
equivalent to listening
it's
to
fine. Like I'd say it's an above average album for what I expected it to be. I expected to go into this album hating it, and I came out pleasantly surprised. I will say that.
Well, that's what happened. You went in. You didn't go in with high expectations.
I went in
That's-
with like about normal expectations.
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
don't wanna
expect it to
go
be
in
the worst
anything
thing
with-
ever, but I didn't expect it to like it as much as I did.
This is a very hardcore album, and for
Yes.
someone like you, AJ, who doesn't listen to a lot of hardcore shit like Jake and I
Very
do.
Zach.
Oh, Zach, what do you have to say about this album?
Yeah.
I went into the album not really excited. Just
Yeah,
'cause
I know
I'm not into this kind of like
Yeah.
the yelling and the stuff. I don't mind this album though. I don't think it's awful. It's just not my
Cup of tea. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Kind of like how you felt about the Slayer album,
Yeah.
except that you're engrossed in that theme, and this is kind of outside of Zach's territory. So it's kind of like a bit of a different version of what you had last episode.
Yeah.
So with that said, I guess we'll go into the ratings. Luke, you go first since you picked the album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go!
The fuck?
11 out of 10.
Alright, relax.
Superior.
Relax, Gar. Give a real rating.
No, like seriously, this is 10 out of 10.
What?
You're giving this album a 10 out of 10?
This is the first
I'm
This
with him
is
on that.
the
Holy
fucking-
shit.
I'm with
What?
him on that.
Oh.
This
Alright.
is one of the best death metal albums that has been produced in years and holds up to this date as a fucking well produced, well articulated, hard fucking core death metal album. Any fan of death metal fucking picks this up and goes, yes.
Yeah.
This is it. This is
Damn.
what we want.
I didn't like fully. This is the first time I fully listened to it, but I heard some of the songs,
Yeah.
and like the
I
stuff
figured.
I listened to is even like it. This is
I
perfect.
will veto if you
into
pick something
that.
heavier than this. I'm kidding. But
No,
go ahead.
I
Go ahead.
won't. Not yet.
So you also give it a 10?
Yeah.
Because highest
This is the highest rated album so far.
Yep.
Okay, well, I guess I'll go next. As someone who expected to not like this album at all, leaving pleasantly surprised, I'm gonna give it a 6. It's not it's not average. It's definitely an above average album. I love the production on it. The vocals, once you get past it the first time, it's not bad at all.
Chris Barnes is just a fucking retard.
Yeah.
He can't sing.
Sometimes the vocals are really trash though, and sometimes the songs are just eh. But there's more songs that I liked than disliked, or I'm just indifferent to. So I think 6 is the best way I can rate this album, just because I'm not too deep into the death metal scene. This is like my first dive into it. What about you, Zach?
I like some of the things about this album. I would never listen to it again.
Okay, all right.
As much as
I liked it,
I might
but
listen to a couple of
not
songs.
good enough.
I might listen to Pulverized again, or I might listen to
Fuck with a Knife.
I might listen to The Bleeding or Pulverized or like some of the
Fuck with a Knife.
bigger stuff on here. Fuck
Mhm.
with a Knife I might listen to again, but like I just not into this. I'm not.
It's still
you know,
not your thing.
But I don't think it's bad. I understand the appeal to it. I understand why it's popular.
Wait, there's a
But
bonus video.
since I personally don't like the album, I'm gonna give it a 5
What?
out of 10.
Okay.
That's fair. Very middle of the road for you then.
Yeah, I just thought it was very average for me.
That's fair. Yeah, because you're rating it on how you feel.
Yeah.
So
it has all the lyrics
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the inside. I didn't
So
realize that.
for the third time in a row, I didn't think we'd have no tiebreaker. Zach wins.
Oh, outright. Fuck yeah.
So
Yeah.
what do you want to listen to next?
It's time we leave the bleeding.
Okay, so I was about to say I think we've officially gone off the deep end
Yeah.
because I said in the first episode this will not pertain to just metal, and every episode except for one has been
Oh,
metal.
Nah.
Kinda
Which I don't
ever
mind.
since
Which I don't
did.
mind. I'm just saying. Yeah, ever
What I'm
since
saying,
Jay came in, we've done
It's
nothing
time
but
we
metal.
leave the bleeding, AJ, and we
Did
enter
it.
the Wu-Tang.
Oh.
We're gonna be listening to the 36 Chambers.
Oh yes!
Let's
That
go.
album's so good.
Okay, for someone who's not as into rap, I
Yeah.
know Wu-Tang and they're pretty slapping.
Wu-Tang.
Yes, they are
man.
slapping, but I
Yes!
didn't
Listen to the
fully,
36
I didn't
Chambers.
really fully listen to Wu-Tang a whole lot.
Yeah.
But
This album is-
I
this
like
album
This
Yeah.
album is their first album, and it is probably my
Hey,
favorite.
we're going
album.
away from the fourth album now.
Yay, we moved on.
I mean, we could listen to Iron Flag if you want. That's a really good Wu-Tang album.
No, you already picked.
No, we're
next.
gonna go with 36 Chambers.
Don't be a bitch.
All right, we will listen to 36 Chambers next time by the one and only Wu-Tang Clan.